The all-new edition of the Pro Wrestling Show. Man, coming up with the recaps of this week. Man, from the Raw Ring Report, where Randy Orton continues to terrorize Matt Hardy. Will this be the final curtain call for Matt Hardy? We'll find out. And that huge 8-man tag team match where Seth Rollins' company and group went against Kevin Owens and his band of misfits against Monday Night Messiah. Did they pull off victory? And with Shayna Baszler and Becky Lynch continuing their war wars, as Shayna Baszler announced a big match where she might get her hands on Becky Lynch. We'll talk about that. Also on the SmackDown Ring Report this week, Goldberg returns and he has a face-to-face meeting with the Fiend. Did everything go awry? Or did Goldberg look to prove who's next on his hit list with the Fiend? Plus, Mandy Rose and Otis, with this whole ordeal going with their love story. And more with the tag teams action on SmackDown. And on the NXT Ring Report, NXT hitting the bang as coming off the heels of TakeOver Portland as Tommaso Ciampa looking for answers and looking for Johnny Gargano as Johnny Gargano starts in the back. Wow. And the Undisputed Era gets their revenge, or vows their revenge, on the Velveteen Dream, who's returning. And on the AEW Ring Report, as huge implications as Cody looks towards getting his hands at MJF, but first he has to go through Wardlow in AEW's first ever steel cage match. Did Cody overcome Wardlow to get his hands at MJF for Revolution? We'll have that. And Nyla Rose making a huge impact with her becoming the AEW Women's Champion. We'll have that. And on Hot Topics, a current WWE superstar signs a deal, but reveals that he's frustrated. What's going on with that? And also, a former WWE star reveals that she has been snubbed by WWE. Man, you won't believe this. It's all new Pro Wrestling Show starts right now. Hello everyone, welcome to the Pro Wrestling Show. I'm your host as always, Henry Diggs here. Glad you can join us here on the Pro Wrestling Show. Thank you all for watching the Pro Wrestling Show. So if you're a friend, tell a friend, call a friend, subscribe. Subscribe and just care. We here at the Pro Wrestling Show, make subscribing matters. We want you to subscribe because wrestling matters, because that's what we do. We provide wrestling content for you, the wrestling audience, because we care about you. We want to make pro wrestling our number one priority here on Connect. Thank you all for watching. Use the hashtag Pro Wrestling to join in the conversation. Man, oh man, let's get started with the Monday Night Raw Ring Report. All right, Monday Night Raw Ring Report kicked off with Randy Orton. Randy Orton was looking for his match against one-on-one against Matt Hardy. Like we saw last week, Matt Hardy came and tried to call out Randy Orton for all the unspeakable things that he did to Edge, where Randy Orton did something even more disturbing. Randy Orton took the concerto and hit Matt Hardy with. Matt Hardy came out with a neck brace on. Matt Hardy wanted some answers and he demanded it. Matt Hardy won a fight. Randy Orton was assisting. Randy Orton took his ball and we thought he was going to go home. Randy Orton came back and attacked Matt Hardy from behind, leaving the broken one down and out. And then Matt Hardy did the most unreprehensible thing that you ever would never imagine that Matt Hardy with Randy Orton did his act. Randy Orton took a steel chair, placed Matt Hardy on the steel steps, and did another concerto. Thus could have been the ending of Matt Hardy, but we don't know for sure. And then Matt Hardy left some tweets that he may go to rumor company AEW. So we don't know what's going on. Would this be Matt Hardy's final curtain call? Because his contract is coming up. And Matt Hardy could be signaling his leave absence and go straight to AEW. So Matt Hardy, we don't know if he got written off for WWE forever. So, we'll see like that. Also, in singles action, Aleister Black went against Aaron Rowan one-on-one. These two monsters went against each other. Individually, they had their individually singles match jobbing. Everyone carrying the cage animal as Aleister Black carrying his dark persona. Aleister Black won this match by pinfall. Aleister Black still wants some competition. We don't know is Aleister Black going to turn heelish or what during these promos, but we'll see. Also, Royal Rumble winner Charlotte Flair came out. She got a promo about Rhea Ripley and how the current stars of NXT are entitled and they don't give enough respect to the people who built NXT from the ground up like Charlotte Flair did and how she built it up. Now, Charlotte Flair did come prior the previous night on NXT TakeOver Portland and attack Rhea Ripley and did make the announcement that she would intend to challenge Ripley at the show of shows at WrestleMania in Tampa. So the match is official. Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley for the NXT Women's title. This is the first time the NXT title, title of sorts, the Women's Championship, will be defended at WrestleMania. And Charlotte made her target and chose Rhea Ripley to go after as Rhea Ripley continued after weeks of her begging Charlotte to make the match between her and because Charlotte didn't want to go against Becky and didn't want to go against Bayley. She thought it was old, tired, and through. Now she has new form opponent of Rhea Ripley, and she will face Rhea Ripley in 6 weeks at WrestleMania. Also, Riddick Moss, last week won the 24/7 championship from his buddy Mojo Rawley, but this time Riddick Moss defended the championship in a triple threat match over Truth and Mojo Rawley, who were former champions. Riddick Moss got the upper hand and won the match in this triple threat match. Now, Riddick Moss did a little segment where Riddick Moss was some little toy store trying to get his toy face made or something like that as an action figure, and R-Truth was trying to sneak behind Riddick Moss. Knew Riddick Moss told him don't try it, and Riddick Moss walked out. All right, finishing with that. After a promo segment with Drew McIntyre and Paul Heyman, MVP came out and picked a fight with the 2020 Royal Rumble Men's winner McIntyre. And McIntyre gave him a Claymore kick on the VIP segment. McIntyre and did the signature 1, 2, 3 and Claymore kick MVP and got won by pinfall. MVP now is a producer for WWE, so I guess MVP closely working with Drew to prep him for his WrestleMania match against the Beast Incarnate Brock Lesnar. So that match will happen at WrestleMania for the WWE Championship. Man, it's gonna be a hell of a match. Drew McIntyre, a lot of people saying he didn't get the bill as he should have got billed. If you look back to when he first came back, the signs were there. And then the Royal Rumble came into play and fruition. He kicked Brock Lesnar over the top rope with the Claymore kick. And can Drew do that at WrestleMania with that Claymore kick to Brock at WrestleMania? When Drew does it, he becomes the new WWE champion. Finally, somebody can beat Brock again. Also, the Raw Women's Champion, Becky Lynch, came out and she threw some money. She had a paper bag and some money. And she threw it down on the payment of fines that she's going to get when she finds Shayna Baszler, as Shayna Baszler did what she did last week. When Shayna Baszler attacked Becky Lynch after Becky Lynch won her hard-fought victory over Asuka to retain her Raw Women's Champion. Shayna Baszler took upon herself to bite the neck of Becky Lynch, when Becky Lynch vowed vengeance and had to go to the medical facility to get treatment. She came back and looking for vengeance. Well, she told everyone else that she would be beaten too. Well, Shayna Baszler came on the Tron, and Shayna Baszler had spoken one-on-one to Becky Lynch that in 2 weeks' time, Shayna Baszler and 5 other women of Raw, including Natalya, Asuka, who else? Natalya, Asuka, somebody else, and other women, I'll say that, will be participating in the Women's Raw Elimination Chamber match. The winner earns a shot against Becky Lynch at WrestleMania for the Raw Women's title. Shayna Baszler sold her that she is a cage fighter, and this elimination chamber is in a cage, and it's designed for her to go through 5 other women, and she will en route meet Becky Lynch at WrestleMania. She'll be the Elimination Chamber winner. And we'll see on that when we do the Elimination Chamber predict outcome special for Elimination Chamber. We'll have that in merely 2 weeks from this Sunday, I guess. Yeah, 2 weeks from this Sunday. So there's a lot going on with that. Woo! And so Becky Lynch told her that she is rooting. She'll be rooting for her and be watching closely. So Becky Lynch is waiting to see who she's going to meet at Elimination Chamber for the Raw Women's title. She wants Shayna Baszler. You can tell she wants payback. She wants that revenge. Also in the tag team action, Angel Garza and Bobby Lashley defeated the team of Angel Garza's cousin Alberto Carrillo and Rusev by pinfall. Back and forth. Garza pinned Rusev and held his tights. And got the 1, 2, 3. Now you have to wonder, like, these 4 men should be battling for the United States Championship once Andrade comes back. Andrade should be back by Thursday for Super Showdown, an event coming up on the WWE Network. So we'll see on that. Also, Kairi Sane went 1-on-1 against Natalya, the Queen of Hearts. Yes, these women will be in the Elimination Chamber match, representing who's going to get that shot. But Natalya got interfered and got distracted by Asuka, and Kairi Sane won. So the Kabuki Warriors playing games with Natalya. Also, Seth Rollins held his sermon, how anyone doesn't follow him, and his right word will be taken out. The Viking Raiders attacked, Kevin Owens attacked, then hit Rollins with the stunner. Rollins left out with the left by his ears. Also, the OC talked up AJ Styles, the best of all time. It is the new Mr. WrestleMania. Ricochet came out for a fight with Styles, but Carl Anderson chose to take him out. But instead, Ricochet defeated the Machine Gun Carl Anderson by pinfall. Now, a lot of previous rumors and reports that AJ Styles could meet The Undertaker at WrestleMania. So we'll see if that comes to fruition coming up as the weeks to come. And in the main event, the huge 6-man tag team match, as Kevin Owens and the Viking Raiders defeated Murphy in the AOP by disqualification due to interference from Seth Rollins. The Street Profits made the save. The Street Profits unexpectedly came out there to make the save, and the Street Profits are coming out there for a reason. The Street Profits are now going to Super Showdown to meet the Monday Night Messiah and his disciple Murphy for the Raw Tag Team titles coming up. So, a lot of tag team implications coming up this week here on Raw. A lot of them feuds going on Raw too, real fast in a hurry. So, Raw was a good show. All right, that ends the Raw Ring Report. Let's move over to the SmackDown Ring Report. All right, on the SmackDown Ring Report this week, SmackDown kicked off with the Usos and the New Day making this change about who's the greatest tag team. Well, the Usos saying that they want a shot at the tag team titles, but the New Day saying that they are going to be better than the Usos because of the tag team reigns, being the longest reign. Well, that kind of left the unanswered questions until the Usos and the New Day had a team up in a huge 8-man tag team match against former Raw Tag Team Champion Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode versus current number 1 contenders Miz and John Morrison. Miz and John Morrison has had a number of wins over the New Day, and also with Roode and Ziggler and the Usos feuding amongst themselves with their alliance and allegiance to Roman Reigns and King Corbin. Well, it was a huge, heavy-duty match, back and forth. Miz with good pins, John Morrison keeping up as a team, ring general, Big E, stuff like that. But at the end, the New Day and the Usos won the match over Miz, John Morrison, and Roode and Ziggler. So it gives them that little edge. The New Day looking forward to meeting Miz and Morrison at Super Showdown for the SmackDown Tag Team titles. So we'll see on that thing. Speaking of that, Tucker from Heavy Machinery expressed his disappointment in Mandy Rose for how his date went with Otis. How Tucker believed Mandy stood up Otis being with Dolph Ziggler. Well, Mandy did not know what was going on after she did not know what he meant by text that he had received from her about running late, and she was looking forward to that date that she was claiming. Sonya Deville pointed out that Dolph Ziggler is more her type anyway. So we don't know if Sonya Deville is planting the seeds of just doing this to orchestrate this, and you don't need to be with Otis, you need to be with Dolph Ziggler because you're like a Ken and Barbie type. So, I don't know when that situation going to heal and how that's going to go going with this. A lot of people saying that it might end up, Mandy might have fooled Otis in the beginning and all this stuff. Also, Renee Young interviewed the sassy Southern Belle, Lacey Evans, about how her change of heart and how she stopped being a bully. And Lacey Evans didn't be seen on SmackDown since losing the opportunity to become SmackDown Women's Champion in Royal Rumble against Bayley. Well, Lacey Evans said that she wants to pursue it again. This time she's going to enter in the Elimination Chamber on the SmackDown Women's side to get that shot to go against Bayley and meet Bayley for the number one contendership at WrestleMania. So Lacey Evans got a shot. Could she do it? We'll see. Also, the Intercontinental Champion Braun Strowman and Elias team up together against the team of Cesaro and former Intercontinental Champion Shinsuke Nakamura in a Sympathy of Destruction match. This was where Sami Zayn had a little fluke. Braun Strowman had a huge, big base. Man, it was so out of Cesaro got hit with the drums by Elias. Elias brought his guitar. It was a piano standing nearby ringside. Some Shinsuke Nakamura hit Elias with the drums or something like a Chinese drum. But at the end, Braun Strowman picked up Shinsuke Nakamura from the announcer's table and slammed him down on the piano and got the 1, 2, 3. That was the best match ever. I'm telling you, the best match ever. Woo! Oh, that was a funny match. That was a funny match. It was a gimmick match, gimmick style match. Indeed, of that. Also, on a moment of bliss, Alexa Bliss hosted the Bella Twins. The Bella Twins had a surprise announcement that was been heard for weeks, rumored for weeks. We heard that the Bella Twins confirmed that they will be the new latest inductees into the 2020 Hall of Fame for the women's side. So the Bella Twins, congratulations in order. A lot of people saying the Bella Twins are doing this because their show coming back on E in April. So this is a marketing ploy to bring the Bella Twins back and bring them into the fold in the Hall of Fame. So both women are pregnant. They did that last week. We talked about it a couple weeks ago. They're pregnant. They're becoming mothers with their moms. One Bree is a mom, but Nikki's going to become a mom. Nikki's going to be engaged. Now they're going to be Hall of Famers. So what a storybook ending for the Bella Twins and the show coming back. So hey, congratulations in order for the Bella Twins on that. Also, speaking of the Bella Twins, Bree's husband, Danny Bryan, was in action as Danny Bryan was met with his daughter and gave it to Bree. Danny Bryan went against Heath Slater one more time after Heath Slater and Drew Gulak, who's at ringside for commentary, tried to pinpoint Daniel Bryan about what he's not doing right. Well, Drew Gulak was trying to mentor and teach how to defeat Daniel Bryan to Heath Slater. Heath Slater didn't get it, saying you shouldn't go up the top. Heath Slater made a miscalculated move and went down, crashed down. Daniel Bryan took advantage and got the 1, 2, 3. And Daniel Bryan won. I think he won by pinfall, yeah. Pinfall with that kick. Also, Sheamus, the Celtic Warrior, made a promo cut that he will have his attention marked that he wants to go away from the short fellows and focus on the main stuff. He decided that he will participate in the Elimination Chamber match and exterminate the rest of the rats on the SmackDown roster. So Sheamus is looking to become WWE Champion again. This time he can't do it by winning the Elimination Chamber on the men's side. So we'll see who the other participants will be heading forward to Elimination Chamber. Also, the main event, Naomi, former SmackDown Women's Champion, goes against another fellow former SmackDown Women's Champion, Carmella, in the main event to determine who will beat Bayley at Super Showdown. This match was back and forth. Naomi with the moves. She hit the move with her, her rear side, and Carmella kicked out. Carmella had some fighting. Carmella even did a code of silence. But at the end, Naomi won the match. Naomi earns herself a shot at Bayley, and they will meet at Super Showdown. So, Super Showdown is going to be a big event, women's championship match and stuff. And the final segment was the returning WWE Hall of Famer Goldberg returns on SmackDown Live. Goldberg sending a message to the Fiend that he's next, and Goldberg wants the Fiend. The Fiend came out there. Well, at first, the video package where Bray Wyatt was trying to introduce his misfit of friends to Goldberg, well, the pork, the pig, the bird, the witch, the rat, the bunny, and all this stuff. And Goldberg wasn't intimidating. And the next thing you know, the lights went out. The Fiend showed up looking at Goldberg. Goldberg turned around. Goldberg said, I bet you it's behind me. Goldberg turned around and speared the Fiend. The Fiend was down on his feet, was holding himself. And the next thing you know, the lights went out, and then the Fiend was gone. But Goldberg stood strong, and Goldberg looking forward to the challenge that he goes one-on-one against the Fiend for the Universal Championship at Super Showdown. We'll see that match going forward full fast in the hurry. All right, that ends the SmackDown Ring Report. When we return, we're going to have the Hot Topics Report as a WWE superstar just signed a deal, and now he's frustrated. Well, what's the point of signing the deal if you're frustrated? Also, the AEW Ring Report where Cody went against Rolo in a steel cage, and the NXT Ring Report as Tommaso Ciampa looks for Johnny Gargano. All this and more on Pro Wrestling Show returns. Pro Wrestling Show. I'm your host as always, King Dix here. Glad you can join us here on Connect. Join in the conversation using the hashtag Pro Wrestling here on Connect. And don't forget to subscribe. Subscribing is caring. And we care for you, Pro Wrestling Show, because wrestling matters. That's what we do here at Pro Wrestling Show. Make good wrestling content for you each and every week. Thank you all for watching. All right, let's get to Hot Topics. On Hot Topics this week, man oh man. All right. Well, a Raw superstar signs a new multi-year deal with WWE. Now, the Raw superstar in this is Shelton Benjamin. Shelton Benjamin, who has been a champion among champions in WWE. He's been an Intercontinental champion, a U.S. champion, a tag team champion. Never won the World Championship. But Shelton Benjamin is a purely skilled athlete, one of the best athletes in WWE. And he's African-American, too. He's that lineage and stuff. But Shelton Benjamin knows he's at the prime of his career and at the tail end of his career as well. Well, there's been reports that he's frustrated. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what that is. With that in mind, it's like Shelton, you make it. I think he's doing it for financial security, but if you know that you're not happy, you just sign a deal. You don't want to be like Mike Kanellis, who signed the deal and he knows now that they're not doing that with his character. If you know they're not doing that with your character, leave on amicable terms and move on and find work somewhere else. You went to Ring of Honor when you left WWE. You find work. I know you got your name. So we'll see on that. Also, the grandson of Jerry the King Lawler, wow, says that the king is not seeing him. The king sees him from afar. I've saw this story. I read it. I think his son is, he's the son of Brian Christopher and stuff. I'm like, man, King even disowned his son, and then his grandson. Wow, man. But King said he's watching from afar, but they're not close. I'm like, wow. Whew. I'm telling you, what's going on with that? Also, speaking of that, Samoa Joe injured while filming a commercial he had injured his head. Wish Samoa Joe the speedy recovery because Samoa Joe is a heck of an athlete going forward. I mean that for a fact. Also, Vicky Guerrero, former SmackDown general manager, former WWE personality, says she was snubbed by WWE because she appeared on AEW Dark. Vicky says on a podcast that she spoke to David Benoit, the son of the late great Chris Benoit, who had murdered himself, said that WWE snubbed her because she appeared on AEW. And some word got out, and now Vicky Guerrero saying that they wait till you have to call them. I feel like if Vicky Guerrero had to find work, she's had to find work. I don't get why WWE worrying about an online show. If they worry about that, wow. That's big. That's huge. That's super big. Also, WWE is set to launch a performance center in Japan. Well, WWE has been in talks to launch a performance center in Japan. This would be the largest performance center ever in the great country of Japan. So we'll see when that. Also, WWE is in talks to have streaming content deal with ESPN Plus. Yeah. Now, we heard that the WWE was in talks with Peacock, which is going to be the NBC streaming network. Now, ESPN Plus, this could be a great revenue stream for WWE. With ESPN Plus, subscribe, pay $5, and they get more views and get more variety. And WWE add to ESPN Plus will help that because they talking about want to close the network down for certain events, but the major events might, help out with that. Also, Cody Rhodes and his wife Brandy appeared on Local 11 affiliate in Atlanta on AEW becoming huge. And they sat down in an interview with here. Watch this.
Where does this rank already? In the short time AEW's been around, but you've already had a lot of big moments. Where is this ranking so far? Being able to put on a show in this area, in really in a town you grew up in.
Well, I was looking at it earlier. It's kind of it's almost like two different pay-per-views. We have Revolution coming up in Chicago, and everything on the show kind of is a commercial or the vessel towards this Revolution pay-per-view. But we actually are doing everything kind of as a vessel to get to Atlanta as well, and that just speaks to how powerful the market is. Like I'm on the actual routing calls, I suppose. And when we talked about coming to Atlanta, I must have said 1,000 times, if not more, you can't come to Atlanta unless it's significant what you're going to put out there. And that's why we decided very first ever cage match in the history of the company. We're going to decorate the card even further, but it's very special. The arena is special. The arenas that existed in the rubble beneath State Farm now, whether it be the Omni itself, are significant, not just in my wrestling life, but in my life. So I'm one of those who visualize. I haven't thought about Revolution near as much as I've thought about this Atlanta show.
In the history here, as far as wrestling goes, the City Auditorium way back when, the Omni you mentioned, Georgia Dome had some big shows.
Yeah.
Why has wrestling always worked here? Why is it such a good wrestling city?
I don't know if I can put a finger on exactly why, but I do know it has a very unique snapshot of America in terms of Atlanta. Like our fan base for wrestling, it isn't unlike if you go to a Falcons or a Hawks game and you see this city was doing things. Atlanta was doing things that other cities took a long time to do. You know what I'm saying? And like the harmony aspect of cultures coming together is like really significant in Atlanta. Wrestling, I think the reason why it works is because wrestling was already there, if that makes any sense. Wrestling was one of the first things that broke the color barrier before baseball. It was one of the first things that had Polynesian heroes, black heroes, white heroes. Like it was a real snapshot of what the country was growing up to be. And I think that's the type of, like, the fan base really, it's so unique when you see them. They're these really educated, hardcore wrestling fans who know about everything. And then there's this kind of casual nature fan who's just there, oh, he's the bad guy, he's the good guy. And they like to boo, they like to cheer. It's just a lovely place. It also is an entitled fan base, which is great for a wrestler because they won't accept less. You got to go hard. You got to give them more. And when you do, they give it back in turn. And I'm excited to see some of our younger roster in Atlanta for the first time.
I have to assume that starting a wrestling company is not the easiest thing in the world. And the landscape is just littered with folks who have tried and either are kind of just hanging on or failed. Why were you guys so confident that this would work? And were you confident that this would work when you first started?
You know, for me, I've always been kind of the one in the group that has had the most optimism about our shows. Sure. And even from before we were a wrestling company, when we were just doing an independent show called All In, I was the one that said, I think it's definitely going to sell out today. And I think people are underestimating, you know, the power of our fan base here.
That's a heck of a prediction to make, by the way.
It was crazy.
Not many people did make that.
Yeah. I was the only one in the whole group. Yeah. And when the site crashed, I was like, maybe they'll listen to me one day. No, but right. Still hasn't happened. Nobody listens to me. No. And so I've kind of carried that on, and I've been pretty spot on with a lot of estimates. And now we're flanked with a fantastic person in our market rep, Raphael Morphy, in that he and I kind of echo each other a little bit. So I feel good about that.
So you're not alone anymore.
Right. But I think that there was a good self-awareness as far as the fact that we do have this fan base and that they're real, that they really want an alternative. They say that they would be 100% behind it. And I think All In was the point where I saw that they're in. These people they're here, they're real, they're in, they're invested. All we have to do is keep them invested, which is a tall order. Sure. But we've been able to do it so far, which has been fantastic. And you know, we really don't take for granted at all the fan base. We take them into consideration so much with everything that we do. And I think that is something that makes us very different. And I think they really appreciate that from us. So I can consider them a big hand in the success we've been able to have, and hopefully that we'll continue to have for years and years to come here.
The Wednesday night show Dynamite, I know, has, at least for a lot of people, exceeded maybe expectations already as far as who's watching, the number of people watching, who you're going up against, and how well you're doing. And already TNT has kind of stepped up and said, hey, we want to do this longer. Were you surprised at all that TNT came this quickly and said, hey, this is great, we want to keep doing this? And obviously it's a compliment to you guys, but I don't know if you expected this early or not.
Well, so I'm just kind of like the eternal pessimist, and I've committed my life to pro wrestling. I think that maybe to answer your last question, that was the thing that I think is why this isn't as difficult as people might think, because I'm very all in on this. Like it's a very real slogan. Like I'm committed to pro wrestling. It's not a springboard elsewhere. It's not a volley back to my old company. This is it. I was really expecting something like that to happen after perhaps we'd been tested a little bit more, but we did have a great test thrown at us early with the cross promotion and the situation that happened when WWE was trying to load up the show around Survivor Series time, load their Wednesday show with their biggest stars against a startup company with people like Britt Baker and Darby Allin, who are stars that are being built. They're year one stars. You know, they don't have the equity that some of the folks that were going to be counter programmed against them would. And they saw we were able to take that, make a better show out of it, and move forward and move back into a leading position. And I think they appreciated that test. And I think also everyone in the group, whether it be Tony Khan, the owner and the founder, or the EVPs, very self-aware. Like this isn't a vanity project. We're very much, okay, if we want to accomplish this, these are the tools we're going to need. Let's get those tools, whether that be a hot free agent, whether that be somebody we're homegrown brewing. And we're very big on presenting it in that fashion. And that was something I was really happy that Turner and Kevin, Sam, Brett invested in us in the way they did. It's a responsibility to me to, okay, well, we got to give them the best show every week, and the best show has to be better than the best show we gave them the week before, and that's like the most fun responsibility you could have.
Do you allow yourself the luxury of looking ahead? I mean, where can you see this company in 5 years? Like, where do you want it to be? Or where can it be? Where can it go?
I'm going to say something that's controversial, and I don't mean it to be, but this always happens anytime I'm interviewed for an extended period of time.
Let's think about it.
I would like the company in 5 years to be on a different night and competing in the same fashion they are. Not that I don't love Wednesday nights, but I can tell we have real players, and I look at this data like we're not lying about the Revolution anymore. It's very supported. Mm-hmm. So I would love to see how it does on another night of the week. That
doesn't offend me. What he's
a particular night that you prefer, or just one of the two with other major competition on?
I mean, honestly, in 5 years, who knows? Yeah. But I can tell you this: if we had a random storm situation or something that would just pop up, where it's like, you know what, we're going to put Dynamite on a Monday night. If that was to happen in this current threshold right now, I'd still be very confident in what we could do, and I'd be confident that our guys would be up for the challenge.
How much do you look at the numbers on Wednesday nights? Is that a big point of pride when you look and you say, and I forget how many weeks it's been that you guys I think have won all but one maybe.
I feel like for us more than, I know people online and stuff love to look at the war or whatever. More so, it's important to us to look at our segments, individual segments, and what they mean, what the breakdowns are. I mean, for instance, sometimes you'll see a segment that maybe, in our P1 is not the most popular, but in our P2, it's the number one thing on the show. Why is that? Well, who's watching that? So for me, that's super important to look at and kind of analyze, from week to week. If we do something similar, is it the same thing still, or does it change? And when it is the same thing, it just is fascinating to me to see, okay, like these are the people who are watching this and they're really enjoying this. So how can we satisfy both people in creating something?
And the leader of Tony Khan being the leader of the company, being a numbers guy, you can't not look at the numbers, and you can't escape the numbers. So if you want to take a risk on something, or if you want to put something in a certain spot, you're going to look at the data the week before. It doesn't mean you won't take chances. You don't want to be held hostage by them, but man, how great is it that we even have the chance every week? Chris Harrington is his name. He presents a review every week of just, it's so much data to dive into. You're looking at exactly how well you did in New York City, how well you did amongst this demographic. It's not just P1 and P2 anymore. And that's really special. I think for these roles that we've been given, it's really special because it gives us okay, we should do this for this reason. And it gives us something to take a look at. Quarter hours are one thing. Like that's the thing people talk, quarter hours and overall numbers. But I like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I could actually dig into the real minute by minute element of it. And that's fun.
Interesting.
That's really interesting. It's fun. It keeps you self-aware if you're a talent too. Like if you think you're Elvis and then you see people turned away when you were walking out there, maybe you're not Elvis, So it's really cool.
What would Dusty Rhodes think about Cody and Brandy starting AEW and just putting on this product, the success you guys have seen so far? What would he think, do you think?
I think he would probably want a job.
That was my next question. Would he be offering ideas and some criticism?
Dusty was one of those individuals that he had made so much money in the business and had done such high profile stuff that he kind of superseded. There's some of these old timers and legends that really have a really traditional outlook on wrestling. But then you look at some of the legends and luminaries from the past that don't have a traditional outlook at it at all, because they were there for anything that like supersedes standard business, where like business was so hot. Guys like Ric Flair, for example. And I think he would really just probably want to sit back and find a few guys and girls that he could, hey, what if you tried this? Or say just this, and do this. Or if you get lost, do this. I think he'd be really good peer to peer versus looking at the overall totality of the show, because this is a very progressive product, and some of the veterans and legends around it, it's actually taking them time to look at it and go, okay, I see what they're doing. Like, they're not these 4 dudes aren't nuts. Like, they've got a plan. Jim Ross is a great example.
Yeah.
I think my dad would treat it just like Jim treats it. Jim watches, he doesn't oversell it. His heart is into it, though. You know, his heart's there. He loves wrestling, and you as a talent, that's a great feeling when you can feel him feeling the product. Like, oh man, Jim's on fire out there because he's feeling it, and the fans are feeling it. So I think he would. I think he'd probably find a good few stars and probably peer to peer want to coach them, which is something we need, and he would be perfect at it.
How would he have handled watching your match against Dustin, do you think?
Oh, he would have hated it.
Oh, you think so?
He didn't want us ever to work together.
Gotcha.
Because we're vastly different. Mm-hmm. And like Dustin and I, if we were on this couch right now, we would be arguing about something. We're just different. We're just so different. I think in the overall product, he'd probably be really proud of. Yeah. The main thing that match acts as is it's like, hey, this is what I wanted AEW to be. This match. Look at this match. This is what I told folks AEW would be. AEW would be, and this is what it really kind of is like, the goal ultimately of what we're presenting as an alternative wrestling product. So I think he'd be proud of that. The best compliment I got from that match was Tony Khan did not tell me, he told my brother. He said, well, your match made my company.
Wow. And
he's never told me, he told Dustin that, and I
right.
thought, that's pretty significant.
Yeah.
We gotta do another one of those, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, he probably would have been proud in his own way.
So the show is February 19th, State Farm Arena. Go ahead and sell me on the show. Why should the folks who haven't bought a ticket yet come out and watch the show?
Oh man, I mean, I always say the same thing, but really, really, truly, I can't ring it home enough on this, in that this is history. Literally, this is the first time that this company is coming to a major market in Atlanta, one of the top markets, one of the ones that people are going to look at for direction. And you have a chance to be a hand in that. You have a chance to be one of those people who kind of helped tailor the product of AEW, because our fans are as much of the product as we are today. Yeah. Also, it's the first steel cage match. Like, how can you pass that up? I mean, literally, something could go terribly wrong, considering that it's live television. And if you want to be there to be the one to say, like, hey, I was there and I saw this happen. Also, it could be absolute magic being the first ever. And also, I'm a little worried about the match because Wardlow, the way that he hit you this week was so intense. I can't imagine the stuff that's going to be happening in this cage match. So I'll be, praying, but everybody else is probably going to be having a fantastic time watching, two people like
it's
just go head to head.
It's so significant. What's about, like, the truth doesn't need weight. This is the Turner City. When AEW was announced, one of the first things we did was go to the old Turner Mansion on Techwood and take a group picture. The same group picture my dad took in 1988.
Oh, that's great.
And I'm taking in 2019, now 2020. I always tell people, Atlanta's an A market without the A market attitude. And this is like AEW. If there was a home for AEW, this is a home game. Like, and this is a spot we're going to come to on a regular basis. And there's more than just State Farm Arena here, as we've alluded to. So there's big plans for Atlanta and AEW, and this is the first outing for it ever. And I want people to come in with no expectations. You just come see AEW for what it's worth, and I guarantee you'll have a great time, and you'll want to come when we come back.
First of many shows, hopefully.
Yeah.
Right? Yes.
You know what I say?
Cody Rhodes gave an insight about AEW, the product, about AEW may want to compete on Monday night against Raw. I think AEW need to hold his brakes and find his foundation first before they even want to compete against Raw. So slow it down. Start your arc. You already got renewed for 3 years on TNT. So that's good. That's a good notion right there. All right. And they said the TNT executives were there this week. So I guess they had made a good showing with that. All right. And finally, well, Booker T appeared on his podcast, and he wanted to talk about the Bella Twins getting the induction into the Hall of Fame and what this means for women's wrestling and the women's revolution. Watch this.
Well, he mentioned real quick. You mentioned the socks, right? The socks were, and he's referring to the moment where he called you.
Oh, you're a bad guy. I forgot you were making fun of me. I didn't even know you were burying me.
Yeah,
You're such a bad guy.
He's bringing up the Bella socks.
By the way, I deserve that so bad. I deserve that. Congrats to the Bellas, by the way.
That's what I was going to bring up. What do you think about them going in the Hall?
I was referring to their babies, but yes. Yes, the
Oh,
Hall of Fame as well. They're Hall of Famers. They're Hall of Famers. They are. I've been disagreeing with my co-host, that guy Greg, who thinks that they're like as important as The Rock. I don't know if I'm willing to go that far, but I think the Bellas are Hall of Famers. I think they don't get enough credit for what they've done for the women in the business over the last several years, and they're personally just delightful human beings. And by the way, the level of improvement that they made as wrestlers, because they weren't put in a position to succeed as wrestlers at first. They were there to be something else.
Right.
And as time went on, they worked their ass off. And Nikki, if Nikki didn't have the injury problems, I think you're talking about someone who, I mean, she still had a long run as champion. Yeah. But in this era, Nikki, in this most recent era, Nikki would have gotten to have wars with all these girls from NXT. And what I love about Nikki is she's physically, size-wise, capable to be credible with almost anyone. She can work small. She can work big. She can do a lot of different stuff. She got really strong as the years went on. So, no, I love those girls, and I'm excited for them.
She definitely raised the bar, raised her game up to another level as far as going out there and performing. As far as storytelling,
yes.
Nikki was becoming so awesome.
The book band said, yeah, Booker T putting it out there. So Booker T, happy for the women's evolution. Everybody said the Bella Twins kind of was the glue that held the stick from the ruthless aggression era to the new era now. So some could be true. I think the Bella Twins did play an integral part, but I think Bella Twins played a part where they was more seen on wrestling to gear to reality TV. So that's what I'm thinking. That they made it seem like they kind of made the ruthless aggression era and the attitude era and the new era all stick in one. They floated together. Well, that's what they think. That's what they think. All right. That ends the AEW, not the AEW, but the Hot Topics ring, Hot Topics. All right, let's get to the NXT ring report. The NXT ring report is like this. Jordan Devlin, the Cruiserweight champion, went over against Leo Rush by pinfall. So it was a highly competitive match between the two men as Leo Rush won the number one contender spot to earn this champ against Jordan Devlin. Well, we'll see how that goes. Also, Raquel Gonzalez explained that she helped out Dakota Kai takeover because she always been passed over like opportunities like Kai for War Games. So that was the reason. Okay. Also, Blue Chipper Austin Theory came out for a match, but his opponent was established. Muscle Champ used that time to cut a promo, and Ciampa spoke out how he and John Gargano fight each other always tied to the title. Well, it does. Theory went after Ciampa. Ciampa dropped him and sent him flying to the barricade multiple times. So next week, Austin Theory gets his shot against Tommaso Ciampa one-on-one. I just hope they don't mess this up for Austin Theory. He looks like he can be the next John Cena. I'm telling you right now. I can see. I have good predictions. Also, the Grizzly Young veterans defeated Joaquin Wild and Raul Mendoza by pinfall. The Grizzly Young veterans, they're building them up to go against the Broserweights down the road for the tag team titles. Also, the Broserweights went against Danny Burch and Ori Loki by pinfall. The new tag team champion Broserweights. I like Matt Riddle. Matt Riddle speaks his mind. And Pete Dunne just stood there and they're like, okay, Matt, okay. Good tag team combination. Also, Conor Reeves interrupted a promo from Keith Lee. Keith Lee took out Conor Reeves, then immediately beat him by pinfall. The North American champion retaining his title successfully against Dominik Dijakovic. Dijakovic came out and said he wants another shot at the North American title. And Lee told him to talk to William Regal and they could fight forever. So this rivalry between these two big men ain't over by a long shot. I'm telling you. Chelsea Green, who's with the Scratch, with the Robert Scratch brand or something, relaunched itself, went against Kayla Carr by pinfall and stuff. And Bianca Belair came out of nowhere and interrupted. Bianca Belair saying she wants a piece of Charlotte and they will meet down the road. And so Bianca Belair targeting Charlotte. Well, could this be a triple threat match at WrestleMania? We will see on that. I can see Bianca Belair added to the match against Charlotte and Rhea Ripley. That'll be a phenomenal match. Also, in the main event, the Velveteen Dream. Velveteen Dream went against Roderick Strong. Wow, Dream and Roderick Strong did a instant clinic. Instant clinic. Velveteen Dream playing mind games with Roderick Strong. Playing mind games. Super mind games with Roderick Strong. Match was, back and forth, ground and pound. But at the end, the Dream won the match. The Velveteen Dream won his match. And he trying to rip the tights off, showing Roderick Strong's wife again. It kind of reminds you of Rick Rude and Jake the Snake Roberts. You remember Rick Rude and Jake the Snake Roberts? Back in the late 80s, Rick Rude was trying to hook up with Jake the Snake Roberts' wife. Jake the Snake Roberts didn't like that. Jake the Snake Roberts started ripping the pants off of Rude with Jake I was like, wow. But they didn't do it this time. But Velveteen Dream, you had to wonder. He got the idea from Rick Rude and Jake the Snake. Well, at the end, Velveteen Dream got beat up for his hurry. Man, Velveteen Dream got beat up. I'm surprised Roderick Strong didn't rip those tights off of Velveteen Dream. Whew. Dang. All right. That ends the NXT Ring Report. And finally, the AEW Ring Report. The AEW Ring Report this week. AEW was in Atlanta, Georgia at the State Farm Arena. Man. Let's see what happened. AEW kicked off with trying to see. AEW kicked off with a lot of matches. They had Jeff Cobb versus John Moxley. Jeff Cobb was sent by Chris Jericho as a hired gun to take out John Moxley. Jeff Cobb didn't get the job done. John Moxley hit him with a series of moves. Don't forget, Jeff Cobb is a powerful wrestler with those new power slams, but he was unmatched against John Moxley. John Moxley hit that DDT and got the win. Man, it was even more crazy when Darby Allin came out to save John Moxley, and then Dustin Runnels won a piece of Jack Swagger, Jake Hager. Darby Allin came out there and won a piece of Sammy Guevara. After Sammy Guevara took the skateboard and hit his neck, trying to take his trachea, and got a piece of him. So Chris Jericho, and he was laid down to Chris Jericho and Moxley. Moxley did the DDT and left Jericho hanging. Man, it was fun. Also, Nyla Rose came out there with Tony Schiavone. Tony Schiavone interviewed Nyla Rose about becoming the new AEW Women's Champion. Nyla Rose claiming that she should have been the new Women's Champion in the beginning. And now Nyla Rose holds the gold. Nyla Rose saying this is justice. This is unbridled justice. She holds the belt and says that no one can touch her. Chris Stanline came out there and Nyla Rose thought, what you want? Stanline wants a shot at the title as well as Big Swole. So Nyla Rose having some challenges coming at her as she's a target because she's the women's champion. Also, the Lucha Brothers went against Heyman Page and Adam Omega. Now, this is who's going to Revolution to meet you know who. We're talking about that. But it was a back and forth match. But at the end, Heyman Page and Kenny Omega win. And they will meet the winners of the Tag Team Battle Royal, which that was the beginning of the show, where the Young Bucks outlasted all the tag teams in AEW to earn a shot against Omega and Page for the World Tag Team titles at Revolution. So we're going to see that coming up. And also, the first ever AEW Steel Cage match happened. Cody endured everything. I mean, he endured everything. He endured 10 lashes from MJF. He can't touch MJF. And he had to go through Warlow to defeat Warlow in a steel cage match to get his shot at MJF. Cody had his support system. He had his wife Brandon and his coach Arn Anderson at ringside. Warlow had his buddy MJF at ringside. This match was back for Warlow, showing power, root, destruction, unstoppable power. Warlow, bloody Cody, but Cody Rhodes took it. He endured it. Cody Rhodes, just the competitive nature. I know the Dream would have been proud of Cody. I know it. And Cody went up top. We thought Cody was going to do a move. Cody was going to do something, going to beat the cage. Cody did a high-defying, death-defying moonsault on top of Warlow. Cody pinned the monster Warlow 1, 2, 3. And Cody gets a shot against MJF. MJF, I just feel sorry for you because you're going to get the beating of a lifetime at the hands of Cody Rhodes. What a way for Cody in his hometown of Atlanta, Georgia, to get the job done. He did get the job done. So happy for Cody. Cody gets his shot at MJF at Revolution. And we'll have that at the predicted outcome next week's show for Revolution, the AEW show. So we'll be part of that segment. No AEW Ring Report next week. It's going to be the Revolution Ring Report. We're going to get you ready for Revolution. All right. Thank you all for watching this edition of the Pro Wrestling Show. Next week's edition of the Pro Wrestling Show will be, we're going to be on Thursday. We're going to have the WWE Super Showdown card Thursday morning. So don't forget at 11:10 Central here on Connect. Thursday morning, kick your Thursday morning off with Super Thursday with Super Showdown Predicted Outcome Special on the Pro Wrestling Show. We'll have that with the card, rundown, what's going on with that. And then that following Saturday, we're going to have the predicted outcome for AEW Revolution and the Raw Report, SmackDown Report, the regular Pro Wrestling Show. We're going to give you 2 folds of Pro Wrestling Show next week. Man, it's going to be an exciting Pro Wrestling Show next week. All right. Thank you all for watching this edition of the Pro Wrestling Show. I've been your host, Kendrick Dick, saying so long, and we'll see you next time. See you Thursday for another edition of the Pro Wrestling Show. See you later.